Welcome, everyone, to another scintillating episode of Trek Talk. I'm TechMan16.
Kirk is Kirkin, and I'm Handy.
That was a great intro.
Kirk. I'm just saying, Kirk may be making coffee. Kirk may be making a sandwich. Kirk may be taking a shit. Who knows?
Echo thinks it's the last one.
Yeah. I don't even want to know what that was.
Oh, jeez. Shall we just try the intro again?
No. This is good.
Okay.
Go with it. Just lean
all right.
Keep that in the can.
We're rolling with it.
Yeah.
All right. So we got Incho with us. Incho, how you doing?
Doing fine, thank you.
And Epi. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, Tech, how you doing?
Good. So, who wants to talk about Star Trek Discovery? That's why we're here, right? The new episode premiered.
Yeah, that's why everybody's here. We want to hear what happened.
I'm gonna have to tell my publicist you lied to me and told me we're coming up for something else. I'm out now.
Yeah, okay. But did anybody watch it?
No.
Yes.
Epi, what you think?
Good start. Not boring.
Good start. You are a better person than I am. Because I just had I just had a huge eye roll at the end of the episode.
It's only one. Can't judge a book by the first one. I'll see how it goes.
No,
I agree, though.
No, but I can judge the 4th season by the first 3 seasons.
True. Yes, I agree with that. Yes.
For those of you that don't know, I'm just going to spoil it for you. There is a planet-busting gravitational anomaly that destroys Book's home planet. And I'm just like, oh, good Lord, this is so bad. This is so bad. Like Discovery is all about making these grandiose, gigantic, larger than universe plot lines that just make no sense. Like season 3 was like
it's gotten out of hand.
Season 3, it's gotten out of hand. Do people understand how big a galaxy is? It seems like
no.
It seems like there's no concept of
I don't think they do.
Space or distance or time. Oh my God. I don't, if you like it, it's great. Anyways, so let's talk about some warring stuff. Some pew pew, some pixels blown up. Incho, Epi, take it away. What's the deal?
Goddamn.
Well, I don't know. All I know is I was at work and I was at war before anybody ever talked to me.
Incho just shows up. He's like that meme with the dog where he's like, everything's on fire and he's drinking coffee. He's like, I'm fine. This is fine.
Oh man. All right, I'll go first. Shit, I'm not shy. You know me. Well, good morning to you, Ink.
Morning.
Handy, everybody. Thanks for having us. I think this is a good discussion. Not just for this little war that you want to call it, but I think it's a grander scale issue as a server. I think the server as a whole has got some problems in it. And it starts with I'm gonna say it, top alliances, and we're included in it. So let me start with this. This TC event that Scoplay basically introduced to us to not make this game Farmville, which I thought was a good thing, has kind of really started this whole thing from the beginning. Because the war, I know, Incho, you asked me if it was about just hitting a couple beasts or something. Why would we go to war over that? It's definitely not that. It's a bunch of things. But starting with, in regards to this TC event, obviously to score points, you got to take TC territories. We all know that. So apparently there was some chatter amongst the TC alliances that not everybody was part of, from what I understand, in regards to supposedly saying, fuck you, Scoplay, we're not going to do this event. But nobody else knew except for 4 alliances, which kind of doesn't make sense for the fact that there's more than 4 alliances in TC or anybody on the server who wants to challenge. So that started this whole precedence from when we started this day. I don't know if everybody agrees on that, but that's what it is. In regards to TC, look, MBD had talked to Phoenix and said, listen, we know that you guys are looking to go back to the West Coast because RMU is on their way out because they've been sitting or squatting in that same position for a long time. So if you'd like, your TC is next to ours. We'll do a friendly, but also we're gonna have some friendly PvP because that's what everybody wants. I mean, what the hell is the point of upgrading all these massive battleships if you're never gonna use them? It makes it fun, and it keeps real wars from happening because that's supposed to be a PvP area especially during a scope play event. Rewards on the side. Some people think they're great. Some people think they're crap. Hey, to each his own. Some things are more worth to others than some other people in that regard. But making a long story short, just get to it here. So we had an agreement with Phoenix. We were going to take their spot, and then we're going to help them take their spot over at RMU. Bold was doing that as well, as far as I know. They were doing the event. And as far as I know, NONA was doing their own event. I think anybody should be allowed. I don't care how strong the alliance is or weak they are or whatever position they are. If an event is calling for territories to be taken to score points, it's what it is. Granted, like, we're not keeping anything. I think we gave back one of them already to RMU so they can come by us. We didn't leave them hanging out in the cold, and they're going to get the other territory as well. Most people are going to give back whatever they took for the event or give something. So somewhere, if somebody has somewhere to go, it's not going to be we're trying to wipe anybody off the board. And I think a lot of people would agree that was fine and fair. The issue we had with NONA in particular is that I got a message from Handy and I got a message from Incho, basically stating that they were upset with Bold, who is our one and only ally other than our sister alliance, which is MPD, and said, they forcefully took territory, broke some agreement in regards to this event, and we're going to basically go in and do whatever we want. So I said to Handy the night before I spoke to Incho, and I said, listen, not for nothing, the number 1 against the number 6 solo, it's not really much of a fight. It's just not. So let's make it interesting. We have a couple 50s in MBD. We're going to send them over. Now, whether you took that as sending over as we're going to show up, or if we're going to put 4 ships in, because that's literally what we did, 4 ships into Bold's alliance ranks. And you know what? That was a good PvP battle. For a hot minute, it was actually really close, and it was fun. And then NONA, hey, they overpowered us. That's what it was. They won fair and square. Nobody's crying about it. Nobody's upset about it. It was totally good. Actually, I got a ton of PMs from NONA players saying, hey, great battle. It was a lot of fun. This is cool. And that's how it should be. And it shouldn't cause anybody to go to war. Well, next thing I get is he did put it eloquently. Incho texted me just saying, hey, sorry to do this, but you've gotten our special attention for helping Bold. I'm like, special attention? Okay. What the hell is that? Apparently, we went against some agreement that TC alliances had. I mean, 4 of them had, not everybody, that nobody was aware of. And now we're getting special attention. Okay. So that meant Incho decided to come to my base and blow himself up 6 or 7 times and blow up my ships. To me, I don't care because I think I even said to Incho, I was like, is this good? Are we done? Does this make you feel better? You're trying to get a point across? I don't know. And here's me repairing. Easy. I'm not upset about it.
I've never been able to use the ship to hit a base.
It's fine. I'm not even upset. Honestly, I don't bother me, brother. And it's not a jab or a dig. It's I know where my base stands. I know where my base stands against the ship like that. So now I know I need to work on what I don't. So it's cool.
Was it the Sanctus? Did you use the Sanctus?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Ink. I've been talking too long. Go ahead, hop in.
Yeah. So let's back up a few. So originally, I mean, regardless of what people are all talking, there was a conversation which I relayed to you, which I talked with Coma beforehand, and they were not going to do anything. So in a veiled way, they did a friendly takeover with Fire, and then they assisted them to kick QT off the map. And when I approached Coma about it, who was invited to the show, I guess he has some work issues. As I sent to you in Discord, when I confronted him directly about that, all I got was liar, liar, pants on fire, and save the whales, and like this nonsensical gibberish. So that's why, specifically, I had told you that, look, they don't deserve help, but if you're going to, assist your ally is one thing. In my opinion, trying to stack their team is a little more aggressive, and I get it. It's still fun. That's not like pushing buttons or, oh my God, I'm going to go to war with you for being a dick or whatever. It's like, well, it is what it is. But then afterwards, going and hitting some bases is like, again, like we said, is a big nothing burger. And from my standpoint, at the culmination of that evening, there was no harm, no foul. Nobody was pissed at you guys at all. But I told my guys, hey, if you want to be a little bit more aggressive, and go in and tapping bases and whatever, go for it. That's all that means.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So real quick, just to relay on that. So they pushed QT off the map for the event. Whether you had changed their mind or not, I don't know. I'm not bold. I'm not going to speculate because that just starts more shit. I do know that NONA did assist Salt in pushing AZH out of their territory for the event. So I'm just trying to understand what's different between those things. And if there was no harm, no foul, nobody was angry at anybody, which is fine. And I believe you, Inch. Telling your guys to be more aggressive, you're setting that precedence to be what you guys' title is don't be a dick, which to me, when you tell the co-admiral, hey, we're going to give you special attention, specifically just MBD, it kind of doesn't equal that. To me, that's a dick move. I mean, I'm not mad about it. I'm just saying the perception is reality. And the perception is, well, if you're going to let your guys who some should be on a leash consistently, and some are more respectful and good guys. Overall, I respect most of your guys there, actually. A handful, just like in mine, I got a handful who are a pain in the ass. But at the end of the day, when you're basically setting the precedence for your alliance to be more aggressive, you're poking the bear to provoke things. And that's the only reason to do it. And if it's specific to us and not like, hey, TM, today you get to go smack as many bases as you want, be more aggressive, that's different. But that wasn't the case here. So I'm trying to understand it's just contradictive right here, brother.
Well, and I don't see it that way because temporally speaking, helping Salt happened later. This is after all this starts and after all my discussions with Coma. The other thing is that going and doing something within ROE is exactly the same way. Like, for example, Dark has a long-standing basically rule that don't screw with us, we won't screw with you. And that's within ROE.
Right.
So, I think there's some argument of if you look at the way that alliances play with and against one another, I would argue that the spirit of the law is not go and stack somebody else's team with your top players.
Okay.
Assisting is one thing. So, I mean, again, but that's open for debate. But
no, I got that. And you do know it's, and the only reason why I say this, I'm just being clear. So Bold does not have any 50 level players, period. I don't even think they have a 49. So when I spoke with Handy, who told me it would probably be a better fight if you had a couple 50s, because we do. We only have a couple and a couple 49s. So literally 4 ships I don't see stacking against NONA. Like, I just don't. It's not like I have 10, 15, 20, half the alliance we pushed out of Bold to fight you guys. It's just 4 ships.
And that's fine. I think we can just say, look, if nothing, it's not the 100% quote unquote legit play would be I'm assisting my allies. I'm going to send my alliance's ships in. Okay. So let's say at least it's that, but potentially could be taken somewhat offensively. And let's just leave it at that, because I don't think there's any way to argue that.
Okay. Well, I'm just giving you perspective on how we see. So then why tell me you're giving us special attention after the battle? That's my question to you.
Because we talked to you before the battle and said the rationale for why we were attacking Bold, because we had no intention of doing anything for this event at all until Bold started doing things. And then I told you about the discussion that we had with Coma.
Yep.
Told you the rationale.
Yep.
And said, this is a retaliatory thing. We have nothing against you. That's where that came from.
But why is NONA, I get it, but why does NONA give a shit about Fire or anybody else on the server? Like, why are you guys, again, during an event? This is not a hostile takeover and we're not giving you your land back kind of thing. This is an event designed by Skullplay to score points, which I argued with you back on that night. You messaged me saying, look, I get where you're coming from. If this was a non-event and any alliance is just starting to just be hostile, personally, bold or not, I don't care. If bold was not, if it has nothing to do with me, I don't give a shit personally. It's not hitting Nona. It's not hitting Nona's ally. Unless they're an ally we don't know about, well then that's what it is. Then you know what you do you. But again, why is Nona trying to be the police on this event that is made to give points to the alliances who participate? I don't understand.
So the reason is because discussions were had beforehand, and
By who?
myself and Coma. So because somebody goes against what they've told me, then okay, if we say we're not going to participate and everybody's just going to do their own thing, you have somebody else that, says, okay, we're doing the same thing, and then doesn't, and does it in a veiled way by, we did a friendly takeover of this territory and we just helped them take somebody else's territory. Like, okay, that's what it is. We're not trying to be police of anybody. It's just when people lie to me, I take offense to that.
Okay, and you know what? I see your perspective, Inch, but at the same time, it's not affecting you. Like, I don't know if somebody changes their mind because, hey, and it happens all the time in this goddamn game. I mean, God, dude, shit happens all the time. It's part of it because it is chaotic at times. But in reality, somebody changed their mind and was like, you know what? Do they have to reach back out to you and go, hey, listen, I know we said this and you know this, but I need you to. I need your permission, or I need to change your mind or make you understand before I do this. It's kind of silly, brother.
The way that it affects us during an event is points.
Yeah, but
So it goes against the discussion, and it's not, they don't have to ask my permission.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like,
just if you tell me something, you change your mind, just say, hey, we changed our mind. We're going to go for it. Like, okay, well then, I have the ability to change my mind, and everybody does.
well, that's what I mean, Inko. If Nona wanted points, Nona could have just gone with points, and nobody. I didn't even said that. I texted this to you that night and the night before when you told me your plan. I was like, look, dude, Nona should be totally able to play and take territories for this game and this portion, and nobody should be giving you guys shit for it. Period. I don't care if you're the number 1 or the number 50. If you want to participate, you have every right to, just like anybody else. But everybody has the right to participate without going to war or getting their attention or whatever. But because we sent our 4 ships into their alliance, we get your special attention, is what you're saying? I don't really.
You got some base hits out of it. I mean, within ROE, and to be honest,
It's true.
nothing. It was a big nothing burger. And like we've already established, at the end of the evening, it was, that was fun. And hey, I got to play with some crews because I haven't played with a bunch of the new stuff because I don't hit people's bases unless they declare war on me. So, it's like, okay, well, now we're gonna do a little play, and it was fine. And I went to bed.
Okay, so
and that was it.
So my question real quick. Okay.
Yeah.
It's fine. Again, I don't care that you hit my base. It doesn't bother me. And it wasn't even like, we're going to go to war over this, because that's not even a discussion. We won't go to war over some BS like that. But you are just trying to understand here now. Think about what you're.
That's exactly what happened, though.
No, it's not.
Other people came in and hit bases and
Handy.
a couple ships during a takeover, and now we're at war.
Hold on.
Right?
No, that's not correct yet. Hang on. I'm getting there. So, but you've admitted here that you set the precedence to tell your guys, hey, it's okay to be more aggressive against MBD specifically, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. And that's fine. There's the precedence. So we're going to play row.
Okay.
Well, I'm just talking here. So you set the precedence, fine. So you let these guys go play within row and do whatever. Now, my question to you is, I don't personally care if you hit my base. So the next day, this is where I think you don't see the correlation of all this conversation. So the next day, I spoke with AMG, very nice comment of yours, very personal, which is good. Anyway, and we're just talking, and as I'm talking to her, who was it? TM came in, hit some bases, and then Parzival came into RTC and cleared off 2 miners that weren't mining. So then I'm like, hey, hold on. Nobody go crazy. Nobody get upset. Let me talk it to AMG right now. Let me ask what's going on. So she says, hey, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of tension over here. A lot of upset people over here. And I'm like, really? I really don't know what you're upset about, because nothing's happened. And we had a nice friendly TC thing the other night. We weren't knocking your bases like you guys were mine, but whatever. I don't give a shit. It's not even the point. Okay, what's going on? So while she's trying to find out, it keeps happening. Now, what I told AMG the night before was, hey, just to let you know, out of respect to you guys, I'm going to tell you now the nap I had given based on the working with Handy with TC is we're no longer going to honor our nap of not hunting ISO 1 with NONA. For the fact that if you're going to give us special attention, we're not going to give you a hookup if you're not going to give us a hookup, or vice versa. Basically you leave us alone, we leave you alone. Well, it kind of went out the window. So we're going to stay within TC.
I just want to cut in real quick before I forget.
Okay.
Why not reach out? You just kind of state what happens. Like, you didn't give us the opportunity to say, okay, well, that makes sense. Then we'll call off our special attention. Like, we never got that opportunity, which I take issue with.
When I'm telling a comm, unless she shouldn't be a comm, or she doesn't have the authority to be a comm, to say, hey, listen, out of respect to you, and we didn't do it, and then let you know. We didn't do any kind of fail.
During that same conversation is when you went to war,
No.
there was
This is
never
the
an
night
opportunity.
Andy, I have the screenshots the night before, brother. The night before, I spoke with AMJ, and I said to her, out of respect, because we're not doing any kind of bait and switch, or we're not just going to hit you and run kind of crap, or veiled something. Bottom line is, the nap we gave you guys.
But because the conversation wasn't clear enough, AMG didn't even understand what you were talking about. She thought you were talking about
How don't you understand?
the normal.
How don't you understand? Listen, I don't know how you don't understand very clearly when I say, listen, we are only going to be hunting ISO 1, like everybody else is allowed in the TC agreement that NONA and everybody agreed on and put together. I said, so letting you know, so there's nobody getting butthurt, nobody's getting upset, nobody's going to come start war over it. We're going to hunt like everybody else, because we don't have an ISO 1 to hunt. We don't have one to mine, excuse me. So we're going to hunt when we can. So we're not going to be dicks about it, but we're doing it. I'm giving you a heads up, whole day in advance. And we will not hunt during events like we always have, because that's just a dick move. We're not doing that.
Obviously, you're trying to villainize my saying we're going to give you a little special attention, which means we're going to go in and tap some bases and be done. And then you're going against what was an agreement that essentially makes it ROE. You told a junior comm one night.
Oh, they're juniors now.
Well, she's newer. I mean,
Okay.
Normally before I change an agreement that has been made with the admirals and et cetera, and is all on Discord, I would at least have the common decency to like have a discussion before you just unilaterally make a change. I would argue that that's a little bit more iffy of a call than, okay, guys, go in and play with their bases a bit this evening. I mean, again, perspective.
Okay. Aggression is aggression. That's how I see it. But I see your side of it, but I don't see it as being any different than, hey, you guys can be more aggressive and do what you want within row with MBD. We did the same thing just with ISO. So I don't see the difference.
But it's against ROE because
it's not against ROE.
Yes, it is. It was an
It's
agreement,
against
which is
an
ROE.
ROE between the two of us.
The agreement says that you can hunt what you don't have to mine in TC. Yes or no?
That is correct.
Okay. So
That's not the point.
Hold on,
the
no,
point is
hold on.
we made a row with each other's alliances.
yeah, but we didn't. But you guys decided to take it upon yourself, whether it be you, Incho, and all your comms, or just you, to give us special attention and to let your guys be more aggressive. You're basically being dicks within row.
And we did,
That's what that is.
but that was not an agreement between us that we would never do that. That's what we're saying.
There's never an agreement that we weren't going to do it. You can't hit bases.
So Handy, just listen. It's not. You're making it way simpler than it is. But okay. All right. Anyway, that's fine. That's fine. I see what you're saying. But yeah, no.
So in the same spirit of what you're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
you did the same thing, saying we're going to loosen up, and you guys go to town. So the next morning, Mud comes in and clears entire zones.
Clears. Well, are they opal?
No.
They're dry hits now. You're telling me.
Some yeah, and some no.
Uh,
Entire zones.
I didn't get one. Yeah, I don't really believe that, and I'll tell you why. Because I have all the screenshots from him of every one. So unless you can show me otherwise, I think you got bad info, my friend. Because as my admiral would do, and he knows, because we all keep each other accountable, which, by the way, Mud has been absolutely great since we've all last talked. There has been no issues with you. Handy's even been like, yeah, make sure you tell him thank you. I don't believe that. Because here's my problem. I give you notice the night before. I'm sorry, I spoke with the junior comm. My bad, because I'm supposed to know that. She was very friendly, very personable, made it easy to talk to. And I know Handy had been doing other things, and whatever, it is what it is. I mean, comms are comms. It shouldn't really matter. But anyway, all I'm trying to say is you set the precedence with the whether you figured it out, loosening up the ties, fine. We responded. That's what that is. That's a response to somebody basically saying, hey, you could play within row, but be more aggressive, just to us. This isn't like some blanket of, oh, hey, you guys can go, hey, anybody you want. It's specifically at us. That's why you gave us that brand special attention.
You're trying.
So we followed the rule. We stayed at the ISO that we do not have to mine. And if you're Opal, we're going to get it. And that's what that is. So we didn't break any row. And we didn't break any rules. We followed the rules that are written. Now, we gave you guys a nap out of respect to Handy for helping us with the mock thing. That's why you got that. But no offense, nobody in the right mind would sit there and say, you could take it as whatever you want, a light threat or whatever, a loosening of the reins, whatever, as, hey, we're going to give you special attention. And just sit there and still take care of the people who are giving you a special attention. That's kind of silly. So I don't know why you guys are surprised that we would cancel that gentleman's agreement between me and Handy.
Because
I just don't get it.
Just in the same way that you view, again, from our perspective, this all started with your escalation by sending players to another team who had broken an agreement with us. So in response, you broke an agreement with us. Is the end all be all. One thing adds to another. And do you see why a discussion?
I thought we were good though. I thought we were good though. I thought nobody was mad at anybody after the TC battle. I don't understand. But you're saying that the special attention was warranted because I put 4 players into a team that can't fight a bunch of 50 pluses in a TC battle, and that really doesn't.
We still played you 1v2. You sent your whole alliance along with some other allies of theirs as well. So, don't make it all like there's only 4 ships that ever assisted at all. We went in.
No,
without
there's 4
allies.
ships. There were only 4 ships that went into their alliance. The rest came to help.
Totally understand.
I didn't bring anybody else, brother. I mean, I'm just saying it. And again, that conversation I had with Handy, who's on this.
Yep.
And then you're not telling me bring a couple 50s, yes or no?
We said that's fine. But what we also asked.
Yeah.
So why are we? So okay,
that's fine.
okay. So I'm just saying, why am I getting? Why is MBD getting shit for stacking in your mind 4 people into an alliance that can't fight? But they don't have the same level of players.
It's not that. We also, part of the agreement, part of the discussion with you and Handy was, bring some guys. That's fine. We'll love a fight. That's great. But can you not bring everybody on the planet and lag the system out? Which is exactly what y'all did as well.
We didn't.
Yep.
We didn't bring our whole alliance, because if we did, it would have lagged. Because everybody was able to play. There was barely any lag, dude. That's why the numbers were so close. It was a good fight. It was a great fight.
It was about 50. About half the time it was lagging for me, but that may be just me.
I'm just telling you because I know I was able to go at it one-on-one with Incho and some of the other guys, and it was fun. It was good. He blew up some of my ships. I blew up some of his. It was great. It was clearing nodes, coming back. Everybody had a good time. It was never a war thing.
So again, my question is then, if that evening, if we said, okay, everything's fair and good, this was after, I went and tapped your base a few times and whatever, we discussed and we were good.
Yeah.
So at what point is the decision made that, okay, no, we're not good. We're going to go ahead and cancel an agreement that we had in the middle of the night? Where did that decision come in? How were we good? And then, oh, by the way, without telling you, I'm going to tell one comm, not going to talk to anybody else, not going to talk to the person that we had the agreement with. We're just going to cancel it unilaterally.
Yeah, because did you tell me that, hey, I'm just like, I love you, Incho, and I respect it, like I've said many times, but you're making it sound like, hey, I got a new toy. I'd like to test it against your base. Do you mind? Because that really wasn't the conversation. And I don't care. It doesn't bother me, but I also want to say it correctly. It's, hey, really upset with you guys for not following through on what I asked you not to do. So I'm going to give you guys special attention. Which one sounds more like a threat and which one sounds more like, hey, do you mind helping me out? Because I'm really curious on what this thing can do. Just curiosity. Which way was it?
So,
because the way, God.
I mean, I love how you're trying to vilify.
No, I'm not.
A couple of base hits within ROE. Or like you're saying that my comment was bad.
Incho, you can't sit there. Well, then your wording is terrible, brother.
Okay, then my diction is bad. My diction is bad. I am so sorry for that. I apologize for that.
No. You're a smart dude. You are very smarter than me probably with things. But all I'm trying to say is that you can't come off saying we're going to give you special attention. I'm upset with you guys for helping stack, which is a joke because it was 4 goddamn ships that were actually at somebody's level that can actually hit you guys back. All right, so stack is
whatever. But the point is that you go from, so if you took specific issue with the way that I said,
Yep.
then you could have brought that up and we could have talked about it. You could have said, I took a great offense to that.
I did.
And I
My
said,
brother. I did. I have the whole screenshot combo with you. I did. I said, dude.
I'm looking at it right now. But
Okay. Do you
so
want to
what
read
does
it?
that mean?
Yeah, I'll read it with you.
And then after we were all done, which was, what, half a dozen or a dozen base hits, like, okay, like we talked again. We're like, okay, that was it. There, we're gone. We're good. But then you decide to change things after the fact, after the we're good. That's what personally I take offense to.
Well, Incho, I get your side, your view of you don't think we're good. You're good, meaning, hey, are you good? Like, do you feel better? It's a little sarcastic, bro, because you text me you're gonna come at me, or us, excuse me, and then I notice you're blowing up my base, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's where we're going now. That's what he meant by special attention. So let's see how many times he wants to do this. And that's me texting you. You good? We're good. Did you get something out of it? How much did you waste? That must be an expensive bill. Whatever it may be. Did you have fun? Great. You're doing great. I think I even texted you that. You're doing great. And I kept on repairing. And look, again, it's one thing. It's one thing if you were like, hey, do you mind if I try this against couple bases? But when you subtly threaten my entire alliance by saying you now have my special attention, how am I supposed to take it, bro? Come on. I'm not taking it personally like, oh my God, I'm so mad at Incho and Nona. Fuck these guys, let's go to war. No. But I'm also not going to be stupid and say, okay, so now I have their special attention. So let me continue to keep a nap with them that I gave them that now, do they really deserve? No. So we as a whole discussed, you know what? If they want to give us special attention, we're just going to even the playing field. So it's one response for another, which is basically what Handy, you had asked me. Why don't you guys just do a response? I said to you yesterday, that was, right?
Hey, can
That's
I?
a measured response within row.
So circular.
Hey, Epi, I wanna.
Good, Hurt.
So I'm posing a question here. There's not like a concrete evidence, right? I don't screenshot everything because honestly I just don't care enough to. I used to, but not anymore. But do you? I'm throwing this out there because I've seen it in and it's not just one alliance. I see it in all the alliances. I've been in pretty much all the top alliances. The one thing that I have noticed, just being as observant as I am, and yeah, I think everybody in here and everybody listening would agree that I'm probably one of the more truthful people that exists. I'm willing to criticize anybody for anything, whether it be somebody in my own alliance, somebody in another alliance. We've seen it. It's on record. It's literally recorded, reviewed on YouTube. So,
Yes, sir.
I definitely, I'm not going to say I've taken sides, but I definitely I've acknowledged certain points that you all have made in things with Nona. And not that it matters. I'm nobody. I'm not a Commodore. It doesn't matter. I'm just a guy, observing things. So I'm not, some important person. But anyway, that's out of the way. Now we've established that. Have you ever stopped and noticed that, I know it exists in your alliance because it exists in every alliance. So to deny it would basically be either you're not paying attention or, you don't want to admit it. And I think, again, this is the case for any alliance. Have you noticed that a lot of the terminology that they use these days is like gaslighting or something, where you're trying to kind of fan the flames? Have you noticed that a lot of that comes from players who really aren't even your big, super powerful players? Have you noticed that?
I mean, I'm listening to what you're saying, and I get the concept of what you're saying. But
so, for example,
yeah, go.
So just for an example, I log on the other day, and this has happened again. This is not specific to Nona. This is it happened in most. It happened in Dark. It happened, all over everywhere I've been. I log on, and there's a discussion of some sort of battling and this, that, the bulk of the what's the terminology, I guess, the people that are the population that would be perturbed or upset really seem to come from some players who no offense to them, because I fall into this category, sort of a lower level, mid-level player, kind of like low middle class if you were to think about it. It seems like those people are the ones that really fuel these feuds that we have.
I would agree during an actual, like right now, yeah, I'm sure, and I don't pay attention, and I've said it many times here, I hate GC with a passion. I don't pay attention to it. I think it's worst place ever, because it's just a place to have crap just continually get worse and worse.
Oh, yeah.
So I would agree 100%. But in regards to like going to battle, like again, I don't know. I feel like sometimes Nona's decisions are monarchy, and then sometimes they're done as a group. I'm not going to say it was one way or the other because that's not I'm not in it, so I can't say it. It just seems that way, perception sometimes.
Well,
That sometimes things are discussed or not.
the reason why I say that is because, I mean, clearly there's some differing opinions, but there's so many ways to make this work. And the one thing that I see time and time again is that anytime it seems like people start to calm down, the people who really enjoy this being angry on the game and things like that, they'll notice it and they want to reignite it in some way, shape, or form, whether it be an AC on Discord, I'm going to post screenshots, and then that reignites the whole issue. So at the end of the day, this whole conflict is fucking asinine. It's fucking asinine. It never should have happened. And I think that, in my personal opinion, a lot of people's reactions to it was extremely juvenile. It's one of those things where it gets to the point where so many fingers have been pointed and so many retaliatory things have happened that nobody even knows, nobody even remembers what happened for sure. Like, you try, but it's like everybody's on a different page and I remember it this way and I'm looking at this. Oh, but here's some new information that I never found out. The point that I'm saying is that I'm trying to bring it up because I see it happening in our alliance. I see it happening in the other alliances. My question is, why is there so much? Why can everyone not just agree that you disagree and then just stop? Why does it have to be a game of we have to be the ones who are right? That's the question. It's not necessarily just posed to you. I'm not accusing you of anything, obviously, but
No. It's a great question. I'll answer you right now. First of all, me coming here today is not to get, we're right, you're wrong, or any of that shit. Actually, the whole point of me even coming on here, and I appreciate Incho for coming on and the rest of you, is the fact that I hope that everybody gets to see a different perspective, but also understand that the way I'm going to tell you how I personally feel, me, and how it relates to this. Because what we've gotten up to this point wasn't the reason we went to war, and I know that's the big question, is why did we go? To me, I'm going to tell you why. In our eyes, we went there because it doesn't help anybody. We all agree. But it's to get the awareness around. So here's what I'm going to tell you. My problem I have with NONA specifically is that I always feel, as the diplomatic person or the person who speaks for the alliance or who you reach out to when you have a problem, is that if one of your guys, perfect example, and we squashed it within an hour. It wasn't even like an issue, but it was a question. When the TC thing started with hunting for points, one or two of NONA's members came into our TC and was opal hunting us. Okay. Before anything escalated, before anything out of hand, everybody on my side took a breath, said, hold on, let Epi do his thing. Fine. I reached out to Handy. I called Handy and I said, hey, listen, I just want to know, because this isn't for war, this isn't for personal battle or whatever. Are you guys going to play that way? Because it violates the agreement. If we're going to put the agreement aside for this event, we're cool with it. It's totally fine.
right.
This guy just came in, hit some of our guys opal during an event. So if you're going to play that way, just let me know. I'll let my guys know. It's just for the event, period. And we'll squash it immediately.
Yeah.
We did that. And it got handled really quickly. Smooth reached out. It's like, my apologies. It was misinformation amongst the leadership. Half said yes, half said no. It was a little chaos. My bad. And that was fine. It was done like that. Because I did what I was supposed to do, which is reach out and try to handle it the right way. What I don't like is that with NONA, and it's not because all your players are this way, but some are comms and some aren't comms. But some of them feel like if they have something done to them that they don't like or agree with, instead of doing what we just did, they take it upon themselves to do whatever the fuck they want. And then they start dry hitting or cracking bases or just being a straight up asshole about it, instead of stopping to say, hey, Handy, this just happened, or hey, Incho, this just happened. Can you reach out to MBD and say what's going on? No. This has always been the problem, I'm sorry, with certain players over there, where they just decide they can go on, do whatever the hell they want, and there's that no respect thing. Like, I will always.
That's not.
That's my problem.
I got to stop you right there, Epi, because that has not always been the case. In fact, for a very long time, people did reach out to me, and I would always bring it up to you.
You did in the past, yes.
And that it went that way for a very long time. But I think a lot of our players don't see any improvement as a whole. Maybe it's perception, maybe it's reality, but in their eyes, they don't see that there has been any fruit from their labor. to record it. So therefore, they
Do what they
just
want.
don't bother.
Right. They do what they want.
Hold on, I'm confused because
I think that's what it is.
but what you're talking about was the day that you guys declared war.
Yes.
And this was, you talked to Handy, and it was smooth, hit some of your guys, because again, there was confusion, because if you look at the agreement, it does say that in the case of an event, that it's different. So we had talked about that.
Yeah.
So again, there was confusion, and I told you that that day, because I'm sitting here trying to friggin' work, and all this craziness is going on. So if you say you talked to Handy and that calmed down, then how did we go from you talked to Handy and it was cool, and then all of a sudden we're at war? Because that was the same.
Okay, great. So that was, it wasn't the same day, just so you know. That was day one of the event.
That was a different matter. Hey, this is Smooth Track Talk. If I get a quick word real quick, I've been implied I've been a little trigger happy on the past wars. Just wanted to say I had nothing to do with this. Like Inch being busy, I was down at the local gentleman's club, the Scuttlebuzz, having their morning breakfast special when this happened. I have no idea how it occurred. I am innocent.
He's like, though, I just want to make sure that everyone knows this is the one time I had nothing to do with this shit.
Exactly.
Thank you for that.
I'm going to exit quietly now, or go back. You can put me back to the audience.
Point taken. Point taken.
Yeah.
So,
hey, Epi.
So I don't, and if somebody is going out and doing their own thing, I'd sure love to know about it, because I take a big issue with that. So.
All right, so WarWizard's been up here. I'm going to give WarWizard a chance to speak. What would you like to say?
Appreciate that. Good morning, everyone. Hey, Epi, we've had a conversation the morning that the war started, correct? Epi?
As soon as you started talking, man, he went dark.
Yes.
Yeah, he needs to rejoin. He moved the things sideways.
Do I need to reset, or can you hear me?
No.
You're good.
You're good. You're good.
Okay, I'm good. All right. I want to say something. Epi and I had a conversation right after they declared war on.
There we go. Sorry.
And right after Epi declared war on NONA,
Yep.
I reached out to Epi and tried to have a conversation with him.
Correct.
And I want to go back to a statement that he made about mud not hitting us prior to going to war. And although I did not save a screenshot of it, mud absolutely cleared my miners as a dry hit prior to MBD declaring war against us. And in fact, once he did that, I went into AC and said, hey guys, mud is clearing us as a dry hit. So if you want to go into their TC battle and hit them, go ahead.
So I actually do remember that. So I can't prove it. So it's just some hearsay from me, but I do recall WW saying that shit. So
good. So I'm glad you remember that, because I specifically was dry hit by mud. And I tried to talk to Epi. I tried to tell him that mud came in and were dry hitting us in our TC, and this was prior to MBD declaring war on us. So
War.
Epi, I understand you like to back your guys, but it is a fact that he hit us dry prior to you declaring war.
Just ask him, because
Hold on. War. So yes, I did have a great conversation with you. You were the second comm I spoke to, and I spoke to AMG before you, almost an hour and a half before you. I was talking with her. So I literally spoke with 1, 2, 3 of you guys within 4 hours, because this started before you even popped in the conversation. So that's why I'm not sticking up, because you guys know, if one of us does something, we hold each other accountable. We always have, and I've made it very clear on the show. But Mud did that after all the shit started with the hits.
It was not.
When I spoke war,
it was not, and I will argue with you on that.
I spoke with, but you weren't there, so how can you argue with it? I was speaking with AMG an hour before you. When you got in, I see your side of it, and I'm not saying you're a liar. So I'm being clear. You and I spoke, but it was after all this shit started. You're only aware of that portion of it because that's when you guys reacted, is when Mud came in and cleared everybody up, because we had already gotten the bases hit again and gotten things cleared and all that.
Wait.
So that's why I'm trying to clear the
And
timeline
Epi,
for you.
you are incorrect again because I was there. AMG asked if she should go and talk to you, and I told her yes, go ahead. If you've already started conversations with Epi, go ahead and finish it.
Because I had asked her.
So I was aware of what was going on.
I spoke with her and asked her what the hell was going on, because again, I had to reach out to why the aggression started again on us. That was the original conversation. She said, "Hold on, let me talk to everybody else and find out what's going on."
That's what
This is before.
that's what WarWizard is trying to tell you, Epi, is that the dry hitting from Mud happened before
Sorry,
AM.
guys, that's bullshit. I'm telling you, I have no reason to lie about it. All right, I'm literally holding everybody back to the point. But again, me, like the idiot, is reaching out to you guys again, going, "Hey, what the hell is going on? What is this? Why it's coming in aggressive again? Why?" And in the midst of that conversation, I even told AMG, I said, "Listen," I said, "I know we're talking. Do they know we're talking? Because they don't seem like they want to. They're coming in hot, attacking bases and hitting people. So look, at the end of the day, like I said, I didn't come on here for a right or wrong. My big thing was this, and then that's where I'll let you guys discuss the rest or figure out what you want to do. My problem I have is that Nona expects everybody on this server to just always be respectful, which they should, and reach out and before they do stupid things. So Handy's telling me that if their players feel like they're not getting anything out of it, they can just go do what they want.
That's not true.
No, hold
That
on.
is 100% not true.
Let me finish. Hold on. Because they don't see the fruits of them doing it the right way. So those people who do those things should be dealt with. The problem is that, and I don't know.
It's speculation, and I said that it's speculation.
In as much you can't make a statement like that that's saying we're letting players just do whatever they want and just state it as fact without proof you're from your own side. So what we're left with is we feel one way, you're feeling another, nobody's proving anything, and you're declaring a war without talking to, you talk to some comms, I'll give you that. But like, look at the conversation with AMG, which is about 20 messages between the two of y'all, and it's we're working on it, and you just turn around and say, nope, sorry, we're declaring war.
Oh, and then
So
no,
here's my main question. Regardless, so obviously there's a lot of conjecture either way, and I would say, I'd be willing to submit. I'll be happy to stipulate, okay, my guy's fucked up and your guy's fucked up. I think that's pretty reasonable. Here's my question. What is your purpose? What do you see as the goal? This is what befuddles me about a lot of these wars that happen in this stupid game, is you do it without any purpose or goal.
So to answer you, well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm not a war trigger happy comm or co-admiral, whatever the fuck you want to call me. I never have been. I've always been there to de-escalate things, and half my alliance gives me shit for it sometimes, but in a joking way. The issue is that, agreed. My problem is we want, just like anybody should have, the same respect that we give in regards to, look, if something happens with a player, don't go off the handle and just start hitting and punching people and blowing shit up and then be like, oh, now we want to talk after we've already fucked you up. I'm based on some whatever, one person's whatever it may be, because we always give that respect and to reach out at first and be like, hey, what's going on before shit gets crazy? I'm holding the dogs back, but I need to know what's happening and how is it going to be handled. What the perception from us is that Nona does not discipline their own, other than LT, which I will give you credit for, who has calmed down a lot and become a much better player after the fact. But he's the only one I've probably ever seen you guys truly boot or discipline when they've gone off the handle. So that's part of it. Number two is, okay, if we agree, we vote on everything. As I'm not telling you how to run your alliance, I'm just saying that nobody can claim war. It has to be agreed upon by everybody. And there's 12 of us. It seems like with you guys, depending on who's on, and I understand not everybody can be on 24 hours, same with us. But before anything major happens, we vote on it. It's not this comm is on today, and if they feel like their guy is right, we're going to go be super aggressive, be assholes, and then we'll discuss it later. We just want Nona to agree here that if people decide to go do whatever the fuck they want, and we don't get that PM saying, hey, what's going on? It's a little messed up because we give that respect. I'm looking for that same respect back. Shin?
Do you realize that we feel the same way about MBD? We don't see that you do that. So we have the exact same perception of each other.
How? Handy, I call you all the time. The minute there's an issue, I call you. So how is that? Unless he's not telling you, Inko, which could be, and I'm not blaming here. I'm just trying to say communication's there.
Well, you've told me that there's no communication multiple times, which I don't appreciate because it's not true, because it's just not true. But that is exactly the perception that we have about MBD. There's a lot of things that happen that there's tit for tat, and that's historical. That's been for quite some time now, you know, even since last summer.
If I could jump in, the one thing that I will say is that on both teams, for whatever reason, maybe it's an immaturity issue, inferiority complex, maybe they have a short dick. I don't know what the problem is, but on both teams, there are people that have absolutely have hard-ons for wanting to, it's hard to say provoke because they have to be able to prove that, but I'll go ahead and speculate and say provoke the other team into doing something. You know, when we're discussing going after or doing war, there are some extremely vocal players. I'm not going to throw those names out there because, again, the only thing I can do is speak to my team, and I'm not sitting here trying to throw anybody under the bus. All I'm saying is it is not mutually exclusive to NONA.
Oh, I agree.
It's not mutually exclusive to MBD or Bold or anybody else. You know, it's been said before, and I'll say it again. Personally, when I speak to this person, I think the guy is pretty good. Jam up. I've talked to him several times on voice chat and everything, and we get along just fine. But in the game, Mud is a fucking asshole. All right, period, point blank in the discussion. Ed tu brute. There is no denying that. This dude is in GC all the time, trolling other people. Okay, and evidence. You can not agree all you want to. I don't care. I see it. I physically seen it. So I have, other people have, because you know what? It's actually become a thing whenever Mud is in GC saying things, being derogatory, being inflammatory, things like that, trying to be a troll. Let me finish.
Why is that even a discussion? Because he has nothing to do with this. Like, I laughed at War when he said this shit to me because I said, you guys.
You just asked for respect.
Hold on. Well, yeah, respect when there's an issue that you reach out to me. That's the point. That I don't get it all the time from you guys, like I do to you. I speak to Handy all the fucking time. I even tell him I'm sorry, but I have to understand what happened with your guy doing this. So Mud has got nothing to do with it. I feel like that's your first fucking thing to go to, because this had nothing to do with him. Mud is not MBD. Mud is one of. To quote you. Hold on. Mud is the admiral of the alliance, but we all vote and agree. So we can outvote him if we feel it's not right. Do you understand that? So stop blaming the guy when he had nothing to do with it.
Well, hold on a minute. Now, everybody
Hang on,
needs to
let
stop.
me
No, listen.
something.
Y'all need to stop cutting me off. I'm getting pretty perturbed. I've always been respectful about telling other people they need to be able to talk, and you're cutting me off. You haven't let me finish my point. Now, that's about enough.
Okay.
Now, being as respectful as I can. So please, pretty please with a freaking cherry on top, stop. Now, the point that I'm making is that you have certain people. They're not bad people, but they're extremely inflammatory. This is why I asked the question earlier. This is why I'm saying this now. The root cause, I truly believe, is not Incho, is not Epi, is not Coma, is not Handy. I truly believe that you guys are able, because every time we get into something, you guys are able to resolve it. If you guys couldn't get along and figure it out, then it never would be resolved. We'd be at permanent war, like Amergan on his server, where he's been at war for 3 freaking years. So the point that I'm making is the issue is not the leadership. I'm watching this happen. The issue is the people that are constantly gaslighting the other players. That's what I'm saying we have to pay attention to.
We did.
That's the point that I'm making.
I agree 100%, but we have, because there hasn't been any issues for a long ass time, especially with Mud. I'm pissy because you're like, I'm not going to say any names, and then you just point out one. Like, I didn't hear you say any of your guys or anybody else on this goddamn server. That's why I'm annoyed, because it's like the first time anytime we have an issue, you guys run to his name always, and that's annoying as hell, because
the biggest problem here.
You got to understand. Bro.
Yeah, go ahead. No, here's the thing. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, and that made me look like a fool, and I do apologize. So let me just go ahead and say this.
Thank you.
Let me just go ahead and say this. One of the biggest names that I've seen in this recent conflict on our team is Parzival.
Yep.
Okay. So there you go. There's you 1-for-1, right? One person on one team, one person for another. So there you go. There's your comparison. And here's
the main difference, real quick. We don't put Parzival up as our admiral because that's not what we stand for. But you do.
But no, the point that I'm making, Handy, is and
What?
again, people listen. The point that I'm making is not like I run your alliance, right? Again, I'm not in charge of anything. These are observations. Take it for what they are. But the problem that I'm saying is that these people that are gaslighting are the reasons why these arguments even happen. Because this isn't a debate; it's an argument. So that's the reason. So my suggestion would be for us to try to root some of these things out, and even in being in Nona, and I can't tell you, Handy has gotten on me about saying certain things. I've been chastised for jumping in GC, not even saying anything vulgar, but he would send me a message or call me and say, "Hey man, you need to knock that crap off. You're being a troll and you know it." And it was kind of like a joking thing, but he was being serious. So what I'm saying is that when these things are brought to the attention, and I can speak for because I've been called out on my crap, that it does work. Because if you notice, I'm not in GC anymore. I'm not trolling anybody. I don't even send PMs. Even yesterday when was it Salazar or whatever kept trying to chase me down, I kept trying to run away. I wanted to send him a PM and be like, "You will never get this," but I left it alone. So that's the point that I'm making, is not that I don't think that you all are the issue. The issue that I think is coming from within, and I think that if everybody can step back and reflect and look internally, because I do see it, and I truly think that that's the root of the problem. That's for you all to decide, but that was my piece. I appreciate you letting me finish. Epi, thank you very much.
I apologize to cut you off, and then my apologies, and thank you for apologizing for that. But yeah, I look, we did a lot of that, and that was part of why things have calmed down on our end for a long time. Like Andy and I were speaking the other night and the night before that, and he's like, "Look, I will give credit where credit's due. Mud has calmed down a lot from where he used to be." So that's why I'm sorry I got so heated, because it's like, dude, the guy is nowhere near what he used to do. Now, when you're in the war if you're in war or you're in conflict,
he's way better. I totally agree with you. He's way better than he
right
used to
now
be.
we're in a war. Hold on. Now we're in a war. In a war, it's what it is. Do people want to shit talk and back and forth? Fine. I don't agree with it. It's me, but that's just war. Now, if it's stirring the pot, good.
I would actually argue that during a war, it's even more.
Yeah, I get it. Look, it's not my cup of tea, but that's his cup of tea, and everybody else's. There's a bunch of people who do it in a war. Okay, but to fan the flames of war, I would never let anybody on my team, because of some shit talking in GC, start a war, and the rest of the comms wouldn't go for it either. It's just because, again, we vote on everything. But anyway, to wrap this up on my end, here's all I'm trying to say is, I just want to make sure that when it going forward, if there are any kind of events that regard TC or PvP or any of that shit, people need to step the fuck back and not take shit so personal, and understand that to keep wars from happening, TC is the place to have our PvP. If you're not a PvP player, I'm sorry, that's just what it is. If it's for points, for things, anything like that, this is what makes the game fun. What doesn't make it fun is having to have to fucking go to war over a goddamn event. It's just what it is. Now, look, we're an ally to Bold. Bold is our ally, just like MPD is. We're going to back them no matter what. Now, if they're in the wrong, if for some reason, or we're in the wrong, we're not going to make them get in with us, and we're not going to, they're not going to make us get in with them to stick up for some BS. We're just not going to do that. But if that means we're going to TC battle, we're going to TC battle to help them out, especially against the strongest fucking alliance on their thing, and that's what it is. It's not because we're trying to be dicks or wherever like it. All I'm looking for is an understanding that no 1, no 4, no 5 decide for the entire server. Like, I think that's bullshit. If you want to have a discussion, it needs to be out there for everybody to put their 2 cents in. But I feel like we got to stop with so many of these rules and, oh, we're doing this and that, and that's another discussion for another day, and I'm fine with it. Bring everybody on, bring all the comms on. But anyway, as far as TC goes, anybody's spots that we took for the TC, you're getting them back. Otherwise, this is what it is. It should be fun for everybody to have some PvP without war. And I just want to make sure NONA or any alliance isn't trying to be the server police and dictate what people can and can't do in regards to events, because it's just not fair. That's all.
See, I agree with that. I'm still very confused. Maybe I'm just not that smart. I still don't understand why we're at war. But I mean, or what the end point is, to be quite honest.
The point for us, was to make it very clear that we felt like you wanted to, not whether you meant it that way or not, Ingo, we felt like you broke your own rule a little with the don't be a dick. I'm not saying you're a dick, but the actions and the consequences are based on the responses and what happened, like, stacking and this and that. And
He's absolutely a dick.
Yeah.
well,
Fine.
I'm not a dick to call somebody a dick. That's not my thing. I'm just old school and more respectful than that. So take it as you want. I'm just trying to tell you, my friend, is that, when you set the precedence of letting certain people, hey, you can be more aggressive, you're poking the bear, just like if we were poking you. And at some point, you're going to break the camel's back and it's all out. And that's what happened. It was days of poking, whether it made us upset all the time or not. And then it was, I'm talking to like 2 comms, and then I'm still getting hit and blasted and all this other shit's going on. And it's just like, you know what? They obviously don't want to talk because there seems to be some confusion. So screw it. We're gonna give them what they want. Let's go to war, and maybe we can have a conversation. They can understand why we're so it pushed us to this point. Is that we felt like we're not getting respect. Feel like the excuses on why they went after our main ally is not. If you want to go after Bold, then just go after Bold. Don't say it's this, or that. Even if it is, that's your perspective. You're not right or wrong. But the bottom line is we're there for our ally. We're not going to just roll over, whether it's the number 1 alliance or the number 50. And that's all, Mark.
Let me ask one question then. So you just made a statement that all this stuff happened over days.
Yes, sir.
We went from that TC to war in like 14 hours. Okay, that's just like temporarily when it was, because we had TC the night before, and it was like 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock in the morning my time the next day, where there were alerts that it was war. How long? And you said you've been discussing all this time with AMG. How long do you think that conversation was? Time
between me, AMG, and WarWizard, and Handy.
No.
So I want to.
With you and AMG, from when it was, hey, we've got a problem.
Probably that was over a course of 2 days. So total time conversation wise, I don't know, I'd probably put a couple hours in.
Less than 15 minutes. If you look at the timestamps, it goes from right off the top to where you say you're declaring war is 15 minutes. There's
more combos than that, because the conversation I had with you, she sent you a whole screenshot of our original conversation the night before, so it can't be.
Well, no, I mean from
look, I know what you're saying. I get your point. You're saying that it went too quickly to escalate, but again, and I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not going to sit there and say it was 15 minutes, or to me, maybe what was 15 or half an hour of time felt like hours because of all the conversations I was having around this. So maybe you're right, but at the end of the day, again, what broke the camel's back was just the constant aggressive, right or wrong on either end. To, you know what, I can't sit here and continue to be diplomatic as my shit's getting blown up, and I'm in the conversation with not 1 but 2 comms at the same time. Nobody on that side seems like they want to stop. So then that's where we're gonna go. I mean, that's what it was.
Wait a minute, Epi. You just made a statement that you were speaking to 2 NONA comms.
Yep.
Both of which contacted you.
No, I reached out to AMG first.
And we okay, whatever you want to say, okay? And what you're saying can be true, okay? That's fine. But the fact is, you were having a conversation with 2 different NONA comms.
Yep.
And we were trying to get it to stop. And over a 15 to 30-minute conversation between AMG and myself,
yep,
which we were trying to stop it, correct? We were trying to stop
it. You were. I'm not saying you weren't. I had asked AMG. Hold on. I'm answering your question. When I was saying to AMG, and I have it, if you want to read it, I'll send it to you. Why are they still attacking? Do they know that we're talking? Because it doesn't seem like they want to stop. That's my exact words to AMG. She said, hold on, I've been trying to get them to stop. Trying to. Doesn't mean they were. And it kept going for probably another 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay,
So then I'm like, well, if they don't want to stop,
takes a few minutes. Come on, we usually give 24 hours to stop a war because people don't read chat every second. You know
but I'm
this.
just trying to tell you that is what broke the camel's back. That's all I'm
Epi,
saying.
you made a statement. Epi, you made a statement.
Bad war.
Epi, you made a statement that there's no communication, but yet you turned around and said you were speaking to two NONA comms who were trying to speak to you to stop the aggression. So we were trying to speak to you. And during those conversations, you started a war.
Or I reached out to AMG to find out why you guys are being aggressive. So let's get this straight. First things first. I reached out to you to say, why are you guys being aggressive? I can't keep holding these guys back when you guys keep pushing and poking the bear. That was the first.
That was
No,
the day before.
that was
That was the
hold
day
on, that was that morning. I know because this is why I said it felt like fucking hours. All right. Then as I'm talking to AMG, you chimed in war after. And we talked. I talked to you. I gave you my attention to it and blow you off. And I said, hey, I'm even talking to AMG at the same time. So my last thing before we went to war at AMG was, listen, you guys are just being relentless. You're still hitting. Why are we talking if you guys don't want to even bother? Like, she's like, I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to find out. I'm like, okay. And then I waited and I started talking to you. And then as I'm talking to you, I hit her back and I'm like, look, 3 of my guys just got dry hit off the other side and bases are getting cracked now by not 1, but 2 comms. What the hell's going on? Doesn't seem like you want to stop. So screw it. I can't hold them back anymore. Days of this aggression, because it's not just that morning, days of this have led to this becoming war. So I want everybody to understand that. This isn't because in 15 minutes we want to go to war. No, this is days of this shit that led up to it. And I'm sorry, nobody's perfect, but at the same time, nobody's going to sit there and just take it all the time. And that's why it said to you, just being straight up honest, if I rolled into your TC right now and just decided to hit bases or hit ships that were floating warships, you're telling me that you guys aren't going to be like, what the hell? You're not going to come over and start doing the same thing? You would, right? Come on.
Okay, but let me ask you, did we dry hit your miners or were
Yes.
we cracking bases?
You dry hit to 2 of AG's miners way before all this even started. I sent you the screenshots and I sent the screenshots to Handy.
You did. And you know what? They weren't mining. His ships were sitting on capture
Okay,
nodes.
correct.
They were not
Correct.
mining.
100% you're correct. But here's the problem. Let me ask you a question.
So that can't be a dry hit.
Is that a dick move, yes or no? Is that a dick move? Yes, no. Come on. Yes, it's a dick move.
Yes.
Yes, it
It's a
is.
dick-
Yes, it's a
It's
dick
a dick
move.
move.
And he was admonished for it.
After
Yes, it
mud
is.
dry hit our
No, it's
miners.
not.
Exactly.
Okay.
But you see,
All right.
that's the flow that I saw in our O chat, and we never had anything. Like I said, you're talking about days of aggression, and there were a couple hours after the TC, and then most people went to bed. Okay, granted, there's some night owls, and I'm sure some shit goes on at night.
Yeah.
And then like the next morning, it's war. Like I'm just so befuddled. Like Handy said, like
All I'm
I
saying.
mean, normally we at least give it some time for discussion.
But how can we have this? I agree. I understand, but it was days of this. This is not. And I'm sorry, Inko. This started with you, with telling us that hey, we're gonna give you guys special attention. And you kind of showed up and you hit my base, whatever. But it started with that. Now that doesn't mean it jumped to that because of that. It's all of those things that you up.
Yeah, there's 12 to 14 hours. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Bottom line is, I wish that during this whole thing you guys followed your own thing, which is don't be a dick. And I'm sorry, those things were being a dick, whether you meant to start provoking or not. You
But
did.
no, look, you're not. You
How about
can't.
this?
You do not have any
From
ability.
this point going forward, we allow our people to be dicks now. We no more have the motto, don't be a
Well,
dick.
then change it.
But what if,
All right, change
Jesus
it.
Christ.
But anyway, I just don't want to preach it.
I just want to say that I admire Handy for saying that because nobody's admitting to being a dick,
Yeah.
and yet there's
I did.
obviously. Well, Inko, you're just the biggest dick, all right? I mean, just like we all know that. But I'm just saying,
It's just
like for example,
normal state for him.
I started a war with a mid-tier alliance because I wanted to. So I made the dick move. And I admit it. Just, I don't, and there's so much animosity between you two for what seems like eons of conflict that you have dicks on both sides that want to provoke one another and don't want to stop. And the reason that you're all here is you're trying to understand where and how it came from and try to get everybody's perspective. But you guys aren't really the problem. If it was just Epi and Medic and WarWizard and Incho and Handy, I don't think there would be a war between you guys. But it's not you guys. You're not the problems.
Just to be clear, Epi, AMG has no dick. Okay, just for everybody. Sorry.
Yeah, she cannot be a dick.
Oh my
Just
god.
saying.
No, she was awesome. I got no complaints about AMG. War, I don't think you're wrong.
You know, Incho, you have to do gender neutral jokes now. You can't do that anymore.
Shit, I'm so sorry. Can't say, I'm no good at it. I'm sorry.
Come on now.
Well, I'd like to welcome Medic. I'd like to welcome Medic to the stage. We just brought him up. How you doing, Medic?
Hey, Handy, Incho, Epi, WarWizard Tech. I think I got everybody. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. Hey guys, what's going on? I just wanted to kind of see. I just was wanting to. Do you guys have like a? Can you guys post the screenshot where Coma said that? Because it seems like the whole premise was we're gonna pay MBD special attention because they backed Bold in an agreement that Bold broke with us. But I've seen Coma say in GC that I never said that, and if you guys can provide a screenshot of me saying that, I'll quit the game. And I've not ever seen this screenshot yet, and I wanted to try to touch on some of the stuff that it's a he said, she said that can be easily proven with screenshots. The other one was that Mud was dry hitting before the war, but there's no screenshots. I mean, I don't know. I always take a screenshot every time I get dry hit. So I think that if there's no screenshots to prove it, we can't really say it happened. And I just wanted to see if anybody can maybe produce that screenshot.
I agree.
I'm looking.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Honestly, Medic, I don't think it even matters anymore because
Probably not.
Because you guys are going to go to war again after this is over some other dumb shit that a low level 30s is going to hit somebody and somebody's going to be butthurt. I mean, you know.
I don't know. My big thing, like I said, gentlemen, is I think no alliance should be the server police. I don't care who they are. I'm not saying Nona is. I'm just stating the general here. Nobody should tell anybody how to fucking play the game. As long as they're following row, and it's what it is. But with whatever action, there's going to be a reaction, but be smart about it. So just think about what you do before. Everybody should. But ultimately, just respect. If something happens, reach out to the comm, reach out to the co-admiral, whoever it is that's supposed to handle that shit. Maybe that's what needs to be in place. More of like people know to reach out to me directly. I've always just reached out to Handy because I know Handy from playing this game so long. Incho, you're always busy, so it's not on you. I know you're working, but I just try to deal with Handy. We get along. It makes it easy. So it's not to not speak with you, but I just have a good relationship with him. But I think before things escalate, that's where it needs to go. But you know, it's just what it is. You know, I think those things need to just be in place and change.
I guess Trivial Pursuit, man, from server.
He on our server now. He's behind all this
I
shit,
know,
right?
man, from server 38. Jeez, fucking got his tendrils everywhere.
If you guys didn't hear that episode, it was hilarious.
It was pretty funny. You should go listen to it.
Yeah.
So my question is, since I'm the only person here that is out of the MBD Bold Nona loop, you guys gonna end it or what?
That's a good question.
Because like,
do we have an answer?
None of you guys, like I said, none of you guys are the problem. It was started by a couple of level 30 somethings, I'm pretty sure, who just have a hard on for the other alliance. For whatever reason.
Normally, I would probably agree with you. I'm just telling you that for me, again, I'm not trying to put blame on Incho here. I'm just telling you that I think the issue for us started when it was like, look, they're doing this thing. If you're going to go after our ally, we're going to back our ally. If that's going to grant us special attention, well, then that's your decision. But for an event that was designed for this, I think it's silly, but that's for me what started the course, not necessarily put it over the top. And that's what I just want to make it very clear, that it wasn't one person or another person or whatever. To us, that's what it was. Like, look, we're loyal. You know, if Nona and I and MBD were allies in some other weird universe, we would be there scrapping with you guys as much as anybody else. It's just, that's how we roll. That's our thing. That's why our name is, Morte before dishonor. It's honor before dishonor. That's what our name means. So we're going to honor our agreements with our allies. Now, if you guys felt like that we shouldn't have, well, that's your thing, and you could feel that way. But we're not going to leave our guys hanging in the lurch. It's not us. It's not how we are.
So it sounds like you are directly saying that it's my fault for what I said. So in response to that, I sincerely apologize for the way that I said that. And I sincerely apologize for hitting some of y'all's bases that night.
Well, Inko, I appreciate that. That means a lot. And I will make sure that everybody knows that. And, obviously war's no good for everybody. We all know that. And I'm glad we had this conversation. I'll bring it back to these guys and we'll put the vote. And I promise you'll have an answer today.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks for your time and for people coming on.
Absolutely. Thank you, gentlemen. Yeah, Tech, Kirk, thank you for having us. And we'll see you guys out there. And Handy, am I reaching out to you today or Inko or both? How do you guys want it as far as
whatever?
You can reach out to
just
me.
want to be on the same page.
Can we do this when next time you guys go to war? Can you just come and say who the fuck the dick was that started this whole shit?
It's me. We've established this.
Well,
This time it was in.
Jesus Christ.
I'm used to it though.
Ink doesn't start all the shit.
Like I've told Inch before, even when he doesn't start it, it's always his fault.
Yeah, well, it's same thing at my house. My wife tells me that all the time. I'm just used to it. It's no different.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Hey, we real quick, but since we're sort of we've been able to sort of try to start the process of burying that hatchet. How about this thing we're talking about in our podcast chat? If anybody's following it.
I don't know.
So I would like to pose a question, and obviously it's not something immediately like finish out arcs or whatever, and it's got to be agreed upon and so forth. So if it doesn't go anywhere, no big deal. But what if I go to MBD for a while?
Oh God, I'd love to get rid of you.
What do you think, Epi? I know, right? About time. I'm being so here's the point: is what you do is that there's I'm sure that we can all identify people that are not really like they don't really get their feathers ruffled whenever there's a war, right? They're still pretty objective type people. I'm sure that MBD has plenty of those people, and you could find one to go to Nona and spend some time there. No snitching, no this is what they're talking about. None of that BS. Just play the game, be a team, and play the game done properly.
Octo come over. He spent 3 or 4 days with us. He was granted as much time as he wanted, and since then we haven't had any problems. So, because he got to see that we weren't this crazy warmongering alliance. So, yeah.
I don't think anybody truly believes that. People, more often than not, have a perception that is
Correct.
not reality.
In this game,
Of
stop
any
it.
alliance.
No, but the point.
The
the
hell
point I'm
you
making,
say?
Like
Look,
I've
Epi's
preached
already been there.
so many times. We are all the same. All of our alliances. We may do things a little bit differently, but for the most part, all of our alliances operate the same way.
What I'm saying is if that conversation comes up and you have someone like me and somebody's like, well, over at MBD they do this, and I could go, no, I spent a couple weeks over there. You're full of shit. They don't do it that way.
Yeah, man.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Agreed. No, I don't think it's a bad idea, Kirk. So I'll definitely bring it to the council, and like I said, along with the other thing, I'll put it to a vote. I don't see an issue with it. And like I said, we've done it in the past. We got nothing to hide. So
Anyway, just a thought. I'm done.
all right.
I can recommend sending like 4 or 5 guys to swap to each side.
Well, I think both alliances are pretty close to cap, right? And my whole point was that I think hopefully through interactions, I've proven myself to be reliable and truthful, and that I'm not going to make anything up or try to skew anything. I'm definitely going to tell it like it is. And of course, just like anybody, somebody's opinion may vary, but I'm not going to purposefully conceal anything or omit anything to try to skew the information in one way. And I hope that Epi understands that, and I think he knows that, and I think everybody knows that. So,
yeah, I have that respect.
I think that so that's what I'm saying. I think if it was someone like me, if you could find somebody, I'm not too familiar with people in MBD, all that many of them, but I'm sure that there are people that exist.
Kirk, I'll volunteer. I'll volunteer to swap spots with you. I think you're not in leadership, but I think you're influential within your alliance, and I think I'm probably about the equivalent in MBD, and I'll gladly volunteer to swap spots. A lot of I've seen screenshots of from Parzival with other people, and I'm like, what's up with him? Like, that's not like him. Like, heck, I get along with him great, and I think he's may be kind of a little bit like Mud, where he likes to troll people, and they don't really get it. And then even knowing him, I read his screenshots in our Discord, and I'm like, it's kind of dick, but he's not a dick. Like, what's up with that? So, I mean, I pretty much could get along with anybody. This whole time in the war, I mean, I've been messaging with Crippled and with Parzival, and giving people props when they catch me. I tried to jokingly blame it on Smooth when his Vorcha showed up outside my base just now, but he hadn't responded, so he may be AFK after he came in and said it wasn't his fault. I tried to jokingly blame it on him, but anyway, listen, and whether war ends today or it ends next month, I don't care. I'll honor that deal. As long as MBD's cool with it, I'll definitely swap spots.
So there we go. Everybody talks amongst yourselves. And by the way, I'm about as influential as a toddler in an adult conversation, but I appreciate the compliment.
I think you're underestimating.
So we're
yourself.
gonna see Mud and Nona soon. Is that what I heard?
Hold on a minute. Hold on.
That would be awesome.
Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Then next thing you know, Inco's going to be in dirt.
No, I am dirt. Aren't I still dirt?
Yeah, there you go.
I can't remember.
But anyway, so there's that.
No, you're the Chinese. You're the Chinese hacking basement dweller, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So I do have to. I'm gonna jump off here in a few minutes. But yeah, Epi, if you could just let me know what you all decide. Obviously, it'd probably be smart for us to wait till like the end of an arc, so we're not missing out on whatever rewards or whatever the things we get and stuff like that. But I'm definitely down for that. Spend some time and actually play the game. Actually participate and raid and defend and capture and do the things that is expected of an alliance member, and not run back and, oh my God, they're doing this, guys. Like some sort of stupid spy or something. Actually play the game and do the way that I'm expected to play on your team. So just let me know.
I will ask our players if anybody's interested in that.
Or just force people to do it. That always works.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So
it does. It really does.
But
in real life, my motto is when in doubt, force it. So I'm sure Incho in your gameplay. I mean, that's all you do.
Don't take that tack with farting, though, bro. That's a
let
bad
me tell
idea.
you something. Well. Also, I'm sure your wife would request some sort of lubrication, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't always work.
I think that's a bad motto, buddy. I think you should rethink that.
Nah, it's worked. It's worked this far.
Fucking tech, man. Everything's a nail when all you have is a hammer.
There you go. There you go. Kirk gets it. All right. I think this has been a fruitful conversation. I appreciate everybody for coming up. Epi and WarWizard and Medic and Incho and Smooth, whose fault it is not this time. Next time it probably will be. And
yeah.
And
well, whether it is or not, we'll just blame it on Smooth next time.
There you go. And then obviously thank you to Trivial Pursuit for causing all this chaos. We love you, buddy.
Yeah.
I think this was fun. Thanks for coming on, everybody. Please like, subscribe, comment. Helps with the algorithm. And for Trek Talk, I'm TechMan16.
I'm Handy.
And Kirk, I guess.
And we'll see you guys next time.